Hey guys, I'm Toby and I'll be talking about homeostasis. Homeostasis is the constant maintenance of internal conditions despite changes in the external environment. Thermoregulation is the regulation of the internal core temperature, keeping it at a stable temperature where the body can function, even with the changes in the external temperature. There would be a negative feedback to the change in the system, so it returns back to normal. When the external temperature is too hot, the body has to release heat to cool down the internal core temperature, otherwise hyperthermia will occur. When the external temperature is too cold, the body has to produce heat to warm up the internal core temperature to prevent hypothermia from occurring. The adaptive significance of regulating body temperature is that if the environmental temperature is too hot and the organism does not cool down, then hyperthermia will occur. Hyperthermia happens when the heat gained exceeds the heat loss, and after a prolonged exposure to high temperatures, the individual may have brain damage or even die. Hypothermia is the opposite of hyperthermia, where it will occur when the core temperature is too low for an extended period of time. It causes thinking and movements to be sluggish, frostbite, shivering ends as enzymes stop working due to the cold, and even death may occur. So keeping the internal temperature stable is important as it allows the organism to still function when external temperatures are not as favorable. The example I'm doing is thermal regulation in the Siberian tiger. Siberian tigers are the largest living species of felids, and their main diet largely consists of large prey such as wild boar, deer, livestock, and on some occasions bears. They mainly live in the Russian Far East, specifically in Primorsky Krai. The climate in the Russian Far East ranges from 11.7 to 25.7 degrees Celsius in the summer and minus 20.1 to 12.2 degrees Celsius in the winter, but can go as low as minus 40 degrees Celsius. This means the Siberian tiger has to produce and retain heat to keep its internal core temperature stable. The Siberian tigers have physical adaptations to help keep them warm, such as being the largest subspecies of tiger, which is great for colder environments according to the Bergmann's rule. Bergmann explains that species found in cold climates are usually larger because they use up less energy to regulate temperature due to them having smaller surface area to volume ratios. They also have dense fur and a thick layer of fat around their stomachs that can be up to 5 centimeters thick. The fur and layer of fat is developed during autumn to prepare for the upcoming winter. Siberian tigers also utilize countercurrent heat exchangers to keep warm. When blood travels around the body from the core, it loses heat to the surrounding tissues. When it arrives close to the skin and extremities, the temperature loss to the environment is lessened because the difference in temperature of the blood and the environment is not as large. As the cold blood flows back to the core, it is warmed up by the blood coming out from the core, as the blood vessels are close enough that they transfer heat. The Siberian tiger also uses other various methods to produce and preserve heat, including shivering, pillow erection, vasoconstriction, and increasing respiration in cells. Shivering occurs when the core temperature drops and it produces heat by using energy to cause small vibrations in muscles. Pillow erection is a rising of fur in response to the cold. The hairs on the Siberian tiger are extended by constricted muscles at the base, creating a thicker fur that provides more insulation because warm air is trapped more effectively. Vasoconstriction is the constriction of smooth muscle surrounding the arterioles and can happen when temperatures drop. This reduces blood flow and keeps warm blood closer to the core of the Siberian tiger instead of the extremities when temperatures are really low. The production of heat through the metabolic process is where, instead of ATP being produced, heat is. The thyroid gland releases the hormone thyroxine in response to the cold, which increases respiration in cells. It occurs mainly in the brown adipose tissue where the mitochondria's ATP synthase channel is blocked, therefore the energy released is converted into heat energy instead of ATP. The stimulus for the thermoregulatory feedback loop of the Siberian tiger is the body temperature decreasing being detected by the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus indicates to the brain that muscles need to vibrate for shivering, and the muscles at the base of the fur need to contract, raising hairs. The thyroid gland releases the hormone thyroxine in response to the core temperature dropping, and metabolism increases and heat energy is produced. These will continue to occur if the body temperature isn't returned to the normal 37 degrees Celsius, and if body temperature is returned to normal, it will stop. The specific disruption is overheating in the Siberian taiga during summer, as temperatures in the Russian Far East are still able to climb quite high. The taiga needs to find ways to prevent overheating, as it is more suited to colder climates, which means that this is a disruption to the system. In the summer, the coat of the taiga is shortened due to the increasing temperatures. The fur around the body is slowly shed when temperatures start to increase during autumn, so it is shorter and less dense when compared with the winter coat, and is similar to the coat of the tigers in southern Asia. The tiger may also pant to relieve heat as they can't sweat. Panting allows evaporation of water from the tongue, which carries heat away. The higher temperatures may also mean vasodilation occurs. The smooth muscle around the arterioles dilate, and there is an increase in blood flow, which causes larger quantities of warm blood from the core moving to the extremities and being cooled down when coming back to the core. The changes in core body temperature is detected by the hypothalamus when it rises over 37 degrees Celsius, and it then signals to the brain to begin changes to suit the conditions. As the tiger doesn't restore the core temperatures back to normal, hypothermia may develop and thermoregulation may stop. Nausea, fever, and confusion sets in, and the tiger stops panting because it tries to reduce dehydration. This causes core temperatures to rise further, and the hypothalamus stops working because enzymes start to denature. Blood pressure also falls because vasodilation isn't stopped by the hypothalamus. If temperatures aren't returned to normal, the tiger may develop brain damage and die. The ability of Siberian tigers to be able to adapt to changes in temperature throughout the year allows it to continually hunt efficiently all year and be the apex predator of the Russian Far East. Being able to regulate the hotter temperatures allows it to hunt in the summer, taking advantage of more resources compared to the harsh winters. Tigers specialize in killing large prey that live in colder areas due to the Bergmann's principle, and the harsh cold environments mean that there is very little competition for resources. The Siberian tiger is able to take advantage of the plentiful food and very little competition because it is adapted to survive in this specific environment. Thanks for watching.